How can I gain the Canadian experience if no one will hire me? Yan. Hey guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. Para sa mga naghahanap ng trabaho, ang episode na ito, alam naman natin, very tight na, I guess, ang competition sa labor force dito sa Canada dahil nga ang dami na ring immigrants over the years na dumarating, so hindi po maiiwasan yan. Ang tanong ng marami, paano ba tataas ang chance akong ma-hire? Mapansin ng isang recruiter, ng hiring manager. Alam ko marami sa atin nagsasubmit ng resume, 10, kahit 100 pa araw-araw, pero hindi sila binabalikan. Ano kayang problema? Bakit kaya ganun? Anyway, yan po ang susubukan nating sagutin. Ang sasagutin natin in this episode with Mr. Harold Cabitac. Okay, he has 20 years experience working in Canada. So obviously, na-experience niya ang pag-apply ng trabaho. Naging recruiter na rin po siya, hiring manager dito po sa Canada. So he can speak very well on that topic.
Hello, Ina. Thanks for having me pala. So.
Actually, active ka, sir, sa mga grupo na tumutulong sa mga new immigrants na makahanap ng trabaho.
I volunteer as a speaker mentor sa Access Employment, which pag nagkakaroon ng mga international medical graduates dito, so I try to coach them into what it's like to navigate sa Canadian market. And I also am a mentor sa TRIEX, which is the Toronto Region Immigrant Employment Council, which is nag-assign sila ng i-mentor ko, so to teach them about interview skills, ganon, resume writing, and ano.
So perfect siyang kausapin tungkol sa mga struggling maghanap ng trabaho. Narinig niyo naman, sir, dun sa intro ko, no? I'm sure you've heard many stories like this. Job seeker, sending out resumes left and right, araw-araw for several months. Dozens of resumes sent out every day, and yet walang bumabalik. Ano ba yan, sir? Dapat ba sisihin lang ang tight competition dito sa workforce sa Canada? What could be happening? Bakit hindi ka binabalikan ng mga recruiter o hiring manager?
Well, to acknowledge what you said, right? Ang competition is marami talaga because maraming new immigrants, not just from the Philippines, but also from other countries, right? The talent pool is really very rich, right? So, what makes, bakit yung iba nakakakuha ng callback or after submitting a resume, bakit yung iba hindi, kahit katakot-takot na? And I've experienced also being a job seeker when we started dito sa Canada years ago, in 2004. So, one of the things I've learned is if you're looking at your resume, you have to study your resume very well. It has to be fit for the job that you're looking for, right? And so usually nung galing tayo sa Pilipinas, before I had like 4 or 5 pages sa resume, and I found
parang
out
the longer feeling mo, mas qualified ka, mas magaling ka.
So you have to adjust your resume here to at the very most 2 pages, and of course give yung salient points on why you are, the best for that job, right? And one of the tips kasi when you're looking at the resume is right now, hindi na kasi, layers na kasi yung tumitingin sa resume. Like it doesn't go directly to the hiring manager. It goes through a filter. Like una may AI, screen mo na nung AI yung resume mo, and then if it passes that, it goes to either the HR or the recruiter, and then that's the time it's forwarded to your hiring manager, and then you get the 2 other interviews before yung final interview, and you get the post. So ganun yung normal process, right?
Correct.
So
what Sir Harold is talking about is saying basically, hindi po tao ang unang titingin ng inyong resume. Okay, I've discussed this in a previous episode na ang mga resume ngayon dinadaan muna sa ATS, applicant tracking system. Ano ba yun? So basically that app or software, that technology finds keywords na associated dyan sa posisyon na inyong pinag-a-applyan. Ito na ang tanong ng marami, sir. Ang dami na po kasing mga vlogs about how to make your Canadian CV, Canadian resume. And I've noticed, ang ina-advise doon para daw makuha yung mga keywords na yan, kopyahin nyo yung description doon sa job posting, pati yung qualifications pa. I-copy-paste nyo, kumuha kayo ng mga words doon. Is that really the way to go?
For me, it's not. Hindi ganun.
Okay.
Kasi, think of it this way. Yung resume mo kasi is your, kumbaga nasa marketing, yun ang marketing tool mo eh. Yeah, you're promoting yourself. So how can you promote yourself kung kukopyahin mo yung job description sa resume mo?
Okay.
It's the job description, right? So how do you make that, paano mo magagawa na more reflective of what you have achieved?
Okay.
I'll give an example. So if you're gunning for a sales job, right? A sales job, dapat ang nasa resume mo, keywords such as achievement, which depicts achievement. So instead of the job function there, na nakalagay halimbawa na you will visit key accounts, yun ang job description, you'll visit key accounts. Ang aanuhin mo doon, ang gagawin mo dyan is you change that verbiage to say, I managed key accounts in this particular area and achieved 150% growth over last year. So ganon, 'di ba? So yun yung verbiage. Kasi the goal is may entice yung recruiter or to, how did he achieve the 150%? Ma-interview nga ito. Ganon, 'di ba?
So not necessarily copying the description as is. Yes,
No.
you will put in siguro yung visited, ganito, ganyan. Pero kailangan mo dagdagan ng mga salita na magsasabi that you were successful in doing that.
In doing it, oo.
Yeah, okay.
Kasi sa AI, meron silang, yung pinoprogram nilang mga words doon are characteristics of what...
For example, sige sir, like ikaw as a recruiter, baka nag-input ka na ng mga keywords.
Ang nagbibigay actually niyan yung either yung hiring company, yung HR ng hiring company, or in the job description itself, sabihin niya, gusto ko may ganito. Qualifiers, right? So, if I were to look at it from, let's say, a LinkedIn, kasi ginagamit namin on LinkedIn Recruiter.
Okay. Uso
so,
pa rin, LinkedIn naman hanggang ngayon. Yeah, there's still LinkedIn.
Correct. Ginagamit the LinkedIn Recruiter, right? So, sa LinkedIn Recruiter, may filter doon to say, sino-sino ba yung mga yung mga nasa posisyon na ito? O kaya sino yung mga merong words na ganito? I'll give an example. If you're looking at the sales position, meron kang titingnan na words that convey successful achievement, right? Or liaison or communication. Yan, importante yan. Kung nagkaroon ka na ng President's Club or awards, isama mo yan, awardee, ganyan.
Oh, okay. Not necessarily keywords that involve yung specific tasks nung job.
Not necessarily the task, but somehow the result of that, the key qualities that you want. If you think about it, sino bang gusto mo alimbawang sales rep? Sino bang gusto mo sales rep? One that has very good communication skills, one that is very sociable, di ba? And mahirap ilagay yan sa isang resume, right? Hindi mo makikita yan eh. But what you can do is you can transfer that into words that will depict the characteristic of success, right? I've succeeded in achieving this much.
Dapat ba verb, sir, the noun? Does that matter?
It doesn't matter. Basta nandun yung mga yung keyword kasi makukuha naman ng yan eh. Makukuha naman ng AI yun eh, right? So
it doesn't matter if it's achieve or achievement.
Achievement. Yan. Okay lang yan.
Pasok yung dalawa na yun if the keyword is achieve.
Okay. Or successful. Ganyan. Or win. Yan, yung mga words na yan.
I see. Okay, for another example lang, sir. Kunyari, hindi naman sales. Let's talk about maybe a position that's popular sa mga kababayan natin starting out here in Canada. Kunyari, warehouse worker po siya. Yan ang experience niya. And then he's also applying for a warehouse position. Ano ba? Or, what would be the good keywords there?
Kumbaga, warehouse employee, no? Ganyan. So, kumbaga is orderliness. I stack ganon yung ganitong boxes to create more space. Parang ganyan, right? So, again, marami kasing in fact, one of the things na inaano rin kasi, halimbawa, yung forklift operator.
Yeah, forklift operator.
Ang forklift operator, kailangan mayroon ka certification bago ka maging forklift operator. Right?
Dito
so
sa Canada.
Dito sa Canada, So you have to do that. And then, magja-job shadow ka muna. So pwede mo ilagay yung job shadow na yun doon sa iyong resume so that when you're applying, alam na nila, oh, he did his, kumbaga, meron ng parang training and shadowing in another company or ano. Pwede yung ilagay yon.
Oh, okay. Job shadow, ibig sabihin, you were doing the same job, shadowing somebody else.
Correct.
Basically,
So,
supervised by another
another
colleague, parang
individual.
ganyan.
Oo, ganon.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yun, binibigay ko, suggest ko parati yung job shadowing kasi it's also one good way to get, pag sinabi sa'yo, alam mo, okay ka na sana, kaya lang wala kang Canadian experience eh.
Ay, nako, isa pa
Di
yan.
ba?
Oh, sige, I'll ask about
Oo,
that.
so, alam mo, okay, pero it's a way to say na, look, the Canadian experience, I have experience in our country, in the Philippines. However, here in Canada, I also did a job shadow, which actually I used before para makapasok sa industry namin. So,
Oh.
nag-job shadow rin ako. And then, it was, I was blessed na pinayagan ako ng isang kasamahan ko dati na who's already employed here in the pharma company na mag-shadow ako sa kanya. And then we did the shadow. And I used that in my resume. So,
Yan. Okay, speaking of, since you mentioned it already, the idea of gaining Canadian experience. Bago po natin ipagpatuloy ang episode na yan, meron po akong quick commercial. Meron po akong bagong YouTube channel, ang Spot Pinoy. Dito pa rin po yan sa YouTube. Kasama ko po ang dalawang ibang vloggers dito sa Canada na si Mark ng Carino Family at si Dre Rice Velasquez. Sana po suportahan ninyo tulad ng pagsuporta sa aming mga vlogs. Masaya po yun. Puro lang po kwentuhan tungkol sa buhay dito sa Canada. Follow nyo po, Spot Pinoy.
Subscribe now.
Okay, you're a newcomer arriving here, obviously no experience here in Canada. You try to apply, and the job posting will always say, they require you to have 1, 2, 3 years of experience, assuming Canadian experience. How will I get that if all the job postings I see have that requirement? How can I gain the Canadian experience if no one will hire me? Yan ang isang tanong lagi.
Ano yan eh, kung meron silang specific number of years of Canadian experience na hinihingi, it's tough to penetrate that. However, during the interview process kasi, let's say, naayos mo na yung resume mo, tapos in-interview ka na, di ba? Nag-do sila na interview. Tapos sinabi, wala kang Canadian experience, right? So this is where you can backtrack. The work has to be done before that interview or towards the goal that you want to do, right? Of the job that you want to do. So, ang gagawin mo muna, ang steps na ginagawa dyan, I think these are the 3 steps para na pwedeng madali. Number 1 is grow first your network. Alamin mo, kung may LinkedIn, kung wala kang LinkedIn account, you create a LinkedIn account, right?
Okay.
So, growing your network means communicating with people in the same industry, doing the same job, and connecting with them. And syempre kasi, pwede natin sabihin, may trabaho sa Pilipinas na ganito, halos pareho naman yung trabaho dito sa Canada, pero may pagkakaiba eh. So you have to find out what the subtle differences are in doing things.
How do you find that out?
You ask them through that LinkedIn, magko-connect ka with people on LinkedIn, and then if they're, open, usually naman they're open to connecting on LinkedIn, and then you can ask them questions. Like, example, I have my, I did this job back in the Philippines, and I was wondering if I can get some tips from you how the job is done here, right? So, and they will answer, they will respond, ganito, A, B, C, D, E, ganyan. And then now you can get some information, right? So, ngayon nakikita mo na ngayon yung, may difference pala, right? So 1, nag-grow mo na yung network mo, may konti ka ng idea, di ba? So, kumukonect ka na sa individuals, not necessarily...
Don't be shy to message people on LinkedIn also.
Correct.
Okay.
Oo.
Okay.
Yeah, yung messages sa LinkedIn, isa pa rin yan, pero mahabang diskusyon yan. Pero just as a primer kasi siguro, minsan yung ibang nagko-connect on LinkedIn, hihingi lang ng connection request, pero walang message. So, hindi alam ng tao bakit ka nagko-connect, right? So,
parang nagko-connect, you just add them for nothing.
For nothing,
hindi
right?
Hindi mo i-message.
Hindi. So, magme-message ka sa kanila na, hello sir, ma'am. My name is such and such, ganon. I'm foreign trained, ganyan. And then I was wondering if I could get some tips and tricks from you how to get into the industry, right? And so, ganyan. So, if they accept that LinkedIn request, then you can start the communication, right? And the more you communicate with them, the better it is. Then the more you gain the knowledge of where you want to land, di ba? Saan mo gusto mong punta.
Is it also true, sir, that you can directly message, that it's okay to directly message hiring managers, recruiters, for a position that even if wala pong opening doon sa kumpanya nila, and you may actually end up hearing one from them. Oh, totoo ba yun? Does it happen? Because I have an interview na gano'n ang ginawa niya. Wala raw job opening, pero nag-message siya dun sa industry niya, ng mga recruiter, doon siya nakahanap ng trabaho.
Oh, pwede yun. Pwede yun. I mean, assuming that the job is a non-regulated job, kung halimbawa kung hindi siya highly regulated, right, na kailangan mo ng mga certifications before you can get in, why not?
Also, sir, I'll just go back doon sa Canadian experience. You mentioned kasi yung tips po na binigay ninyo is once you secure the interview. But how do you increase your chances of getting a call back to begin with if you have zero Canadian experience pala?
So first, di ba, remember yung resume, di ba, inayos mo na, di ba? Yun ang first step talaga, yung resume.
Okay.
So once naayos mo na yung resume, makikita mo, mag-i-increase yung chances na gusto kang interviewin.
Okay. Talagang
so
CV is the first
yung CV is
big
important.
step.
Oo, correct.
The format is also very important to begin with.
Yes.
Iba po ang format ng Philippines sa Canadian CV. But there are many resources for that. I-check nyo lang po. What we discussed earlier are the keywords na i-incorporate nyo naman dyan sa format ng Canadian CV. Okay, one more concern, sir, about job seekers. Do I really have to apply for the lowest ranking jobs when I'm a newly landed immigrant in Canada?
It depends.
Can I not would you encourage them to also try out the same level jobs that kung ano man pong ginagawa na sila Pilipinas?
Pwede naman yan. Wala namang pumipigil eh.
Yeah, okay.
Ang maganda dito sa Canada kasi when you come to Canada, you can reinvent yourself eh. Kung yung hindi mo nagagawa sa Pilipinas, pwede mong gawin dito eh. Di ba? Pwede mong baguhin yung trabaho mo, pwede mong baguhin yung persona mo such that you're able to do what you want to do. But in doing so, in thinking about that, kailangan you have to be willing to go through the steps to get to where you want to go.
Okay.
Diba? Kung kailangan ng certification, mag-aral. Kung kailangan ganito, gawin yung ganito. Kung kailangan mag-shadow, gawin yun.
But then again, sabi naman ni Sir, no, there's no harm in trying out the same level job. Because it has happened. I've had actually, sir, a couple of interviews na same job, nabanggit ko to kay Sir kanina. Parehong trabaho po agad na nakuha nila sa Canada. Specifically, dalawa IT. Same job. First application na dito, kuha agad sila same job. I think web developer po yata. And then I also have an interviewee, workforce manager sa BPO. Pagdating niya dito, in a short amount of time, nakuha niya rin po agad yung trabaho na yon. Are there tips to boost your chances to be like that?
Pwede naman yun. Kasi lalo na in an industry that's non-regulated, tsaka yung in demand, pwede talaga yun. Pwede
is
talaga.
in demand, halimbawa.
Of course, any web applications, ganyan, or anything that has to do with IT, very high ang demand niyan. Ngayon, how to kumbaga, to increase your chances of getting in, especially kung yung mga special talents mo, ilagay mo dun sa resume mo. And again, going back to the steps kanina, yung sabi ko kanina, grow your network sa LinkedIn.
Yeah.
It will increase your connection with people in the same industry, di ba? Na pag meron silang opening, baka sabihin, si Harold, baka pwede yan, ganon. And that could also boost your chances, right? So, meron din, pwede sinasabi ko kanina, job shadowing. Kasi during the pandemic, mahirap gawin yon. And of course, medyo mas stricter ang guidelines on job shadowing kasi merong ibang mga companies, for privacy sake, hindi ka pwedeng mag-job shadow because there are corporate secrets na baka malaman mo.
What specific jobs, sir, would accept job shadowing? And how do you apply for such? Kunyari, you want to volunteer yourself.
Para siguro mas maganda yung volunteering, alimbawa, yung example, right? So, kung nurse ka sa Pilipinas, right? Gusto mo mag-nurse dito, nag-aaral ka pa, right?
Okay.
And then what you do is you volunteer in the hospital. Mag-volunteer ka sa hospital for any of the positions there, right? And so now you're getting the first-hand experience of what it's like to volunteer and to work in that same sphere na pinagalawan mo or industry, right? So, ganun yung gagawin mo. That's one step. It's like the job shadow. It's also like volunteering, right? Ganun, pareho yun. Pareho yan. Now, some companies allow that. Ngayon, hindi ko lang alam. I mean, I don't know. That's the good thing is, during the discussion with your, connections or networks with LinkedIn, ask nyo, does your company allow job shadowing? If they say yes, walang problema. If they say no, then walang problema rin. Pwede naman sila magbigay ng info, right?
Are there instances where it's paid or it's not paid? Paano buhay?
It's usually not paid, right? And even the volunteering is usually not paid.
Yeah, volunteering right? Not paid. Baka lang may difference ka.
Wala. It's not paid. Pero the benefit there is makikita mo kung anong ginagawa nung job na yon, how that job is done.
Maybe, since kasi syempre concerned dito, sir, it doesn't pay. Maybe they can do it part-time while they're working. At least they're gaining the experience na kailangan dun sa ina-aspire nila talaga na position, ano?
Pwede yun. Hindi masama yun. In fact, mas maganda nga yun dahil kasi you're getting the experience, right? It's unpaid, but you're getting the experience. That's worth more kasi pwede mo ilagay mo sa resume mo yan. Volunteered at such and such.
Yeah. I see. Oh, by the way, itong si Sir Harold, ang expertise niya in a way ay tumulong sa mga healthcare workers, healthcare sector. Maybe, alam mo naman sir, ang dami mga Pilipinong healthcare workers, who might be thinking if it's still a good time for them to, apply in Canada, to work in Canada. Would you say that now is a good time for them to do that or to consider? What specific jobs also as well, if your answer is yes?
Marami yung healthcare sector kasi alam niyo naman dito na aging yung population natin, aging ang population ng Canada. So the demand for nurses, personal support workers are high, right? So marami yan. And siguro nakita niyo na sa balita na some of the hospitals, some of the staff are suffering from burnout because konti sila, diba? So they need it. But again, what Canada is doing is gusto ng Canada na pumunta kayo dito, but they have to be sure na pag pumunta ka dito, you can perform the way they want. They want you to perform in the hospitals, right? Meron kaming kilala na doktor sa Pilipinas, naging doktor din dito. Of course, they took that pathway. So, ganun talaga. So,
nag-aral pa yun dito, sir, yung doktor?
Nag-aral din dito yun, oo.
Okay. Is there anything else maybe, sir, you can add that I may have missed na mahalaga sa mga mag-uumpisa pa lang magtrabaho in Canada?
Siguro, so i-summarize ko lang yung mga tips, no. The first tip, sabi ko nga, is grow your network, di ba? LinkedIn or talking to your neighbor, other people to gain more connections, right? Importante yon. The second one is probably job shadowing and volunteering, which can give you a little bit of the experience on how things are done in that industry or that sector where you want to go. Yun ang pangalawa, no. The third one siguro is learn about the company and the industry that you want to go to. Yun ang isa importante kasi ang mahalaga one of the things that I've noticed during interview process is that companies or not just the recruits but the hiring managers, they love to hear that you know about the company that you're trying to get into.
That will be useful maybe if you get an interview, ganun ba?
If you get an interview.
Alam mo naman isulat mo sa resume mo yun, no?
Hindi. Sa interview yun. Sa interview proper yan. Proper kasi pag na-interview ka na at alam nila na you visited the website, ganyan, you've seen their accomplishments and ganon, they love hearing that. Kasi that also shows na, interesado nga itong tao na to work for us, right? And so, if you're expressing that, I know that your company launched this product and it's been very successful in the market, I'd also like to be part of that legacy of this company na growing your brand. Parang ganon when you verbalize that during the interview process, and that can score some points with the hiring manager or HR. So
nice. Okay. Noted, ha. Don't forget, research about the company you're applying for. It may be useful kung ipatawag kayo. I mean, kung magkaroon kayo ng callback.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you've given us so many tips. Yeah, thank you so much, sir. But definitely, kung meron pa po kayong gusto itanong kaya Sir Harold, put them in the comment section and maybe we can have, rather, another episode to discuss other concerns that you might have. Specifically, sa mga naghahanap po ng trabaho, makakatulong po si Sir Harold dyan. Thank you so much, sir, for all your inputs. And sana, again, more episodes with us here para makatulong din po.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for having us then. And of course, ang goal lang naman talaga dito is supposed to be to help yung yung mga kababayan natin to, gain more it's an alternative, 'di ba? Thinking of
Yeah.
alternative ways to get in, right? Into to the industry, into the and to the Canadian market.
Kailangan niyang mga strategy na yan sa panahon ngayon kung kailan nga napakaraming job applicants po dito sa Canada. Okay, well, sana marami kayong natutunan. Thank you again, Sir Harold. That's it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!